Oh Jesus, here comes another terrible movie license game. Don't get me wrong, out of 100 of them, only a handful of them are decent and good to play and enjoy, and here is no different at all. I'm reviewing Terminator Salvation, the 4th installment of the Terminator franchise that should have stopped at Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This isn't going to be my first time playing any Terminator games, as previously I've played Terminator 3 Rise of the Machine and a little bit of Terminator Redemption, so who knows where this game stands? Is it any better than those games? Or is it worse? I really don't understand why this franchise keeps getting more and more movies. As each one of them goes down the shitter. This franchise is already dead. I never watched the Terminator that came after 4 because there's no need to. The last movie that came out, spoiler alert, John Connor gets killed to then be replaced by a girl. For what reason did he have to die? I really don't give two shits. The movie keeps on telling the same story over and over again, trying to capture the magic that the first two made, Terminator 2 being a 10 out of 10. And in all honesty, it wasn't the same. Adult John Connor is more useless than that one kid he hung around with. The cool thing about Terminator was the machine, Skynet, and Judgment Day, and the bleak future that awaits humanity, and I'm gonna play and experience that future. As for the movie in of itself, it's okay. The only thing I remember from the movie is CGI Arnold T-800, and this was the first film not to include him to the story, since his name brought the franchise fame, whether you like it or not. Who else? Oh, the machine who thought he was a human, and the fact that there isn't plasma rifles or any futuristic neon pew pew anywhere. I'm guessing that this movie isn't that far off into the future, and this movie is very grey. During that time, I said before 2012, most of the movies received a video game counterpart to either boost the sales or expand to get more money. It's pretty much just the same shit. Corporate just wants money by releasing games for the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. The company that developed the game was called Grin, alongside the Halcyon Company, who had the rights to the Terminator, but as the years go by they lost the rights because of bankruptcy. Grin also developed such titles like Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, a good tactical shooter, Capcom Banner Commando, why the hell is Spencer in Marvel vs Capcom Infinite, and another movie licensed game, Wanted, where the premise is that you can curve bullets. Some of the game were under their wing before they got cancelled, and some of them were well-known IPs like Strider and Streets of Rage. The latter got their own 4th installment, and Strider was rebooted by Double Helix Game, the company that made Silent Hill Homecoming. Terminator Salvation was the last game they made under the name Grin, as Starbreeze Studio acquired them when the company wasn't doing so good financially. Then the company branded themselves as Overkill, and their success is making Payday, the first-person shooting heist game. Terminator Salvation was in development months before the movie was filmed. It was announced in November 2007 and was released May 2009 for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, just a couple of days before and after the release of the movie. A multiplayer was in works but was cancelled due to the release schedule. Instead there's local couch co-op, hang around with your buddies playing this classic, when instead you should be playing games like Tekken or any fighting games out there. Story co-op isn't that fun when you realise. Trust me, I tried. Now that I think about it, Saints Row the 3rd and Dead Island were fun because I wasn't taking the game seriously, and Terminator Salvation isn't a comical game, it's serious. Humanity is in danger. Listen to Ralph.
I'm in danger!
Oh, the gods have spoken. Christian Bale unfortunately did not reprise his role as the best adult John Connor. The other side characters got their real life actors to voice them, but not Bale, because he just didn't want them to use his likeness and voice. I understand that because the game is very minimalist. Not much goes on in the game, but at the same time it's a shame. I mean, if Chris Hemsworth can reprise his role as Thor in the awful God of Thunder game, why not Bale? But what's done is done. One thing I want to say before I talk about the gameplay is that this game is friendly to trophy hunters like how I was back in the day. I mean, all you have to do is follow the damn story CJ on hard difficulty on one playthrough. Mind you, it isn't that long to finish, and all the trophies for this game are gold, so your PSN level will go up exponentially. Now I don't do that anymore because I don't want my library of trophies to be all terrible games. Not only that, I'm semi-retired. Only games on platinum is when I like the game enough, and that's why I got the game in the first place. Not that I wanted to play Terminator Salvation or play any of the Terminator games. It was simply because I wanted an easy platinum, and having all the trophy gold were just a bonus. The gameplay of Terminator Salvation is lackluster. There's barely anything to talk about other than simple mechanics, so I'm going to go over them just so you know how the game works. Well, for starter, it's a third person over the shoulder shooter for one. There are 3 difficulty to choose from: easy, normal or hard, or play co-op if you have anyone to play with. It has a cover mechanic in where you take cover, which the dev didn't do a good job of. I mean, for one, you can't pick up new weapons on the floor next to you when you run out of ammo. Instead, you have to get out of cover, get shot by the T-600, then go back into cover and blank shoot them. And be careful of the hitbox because, like with me, the T-600 one-shotted me when I was behind some boxes taking cover. banged and randomly died for no reason.
What do you mean you're not sure? It's just, after a while, all this stuff starts to look the same.
Most of the time you flank the machine and exploit their weak points and kill them. The enemy AI isn't awful since they're constantly shooting at you, but that's the problem. When there's too much of them, they focus on you rather than your teammates. And sometimes they go back and forth. On the other hand, your team AI are not useless at all. They can kill the machines when you're taking cover, sometimes doing most of the job for me, but most of the time you have to do the heavy lifting yourself. And when too much damage is taken, you can hide behind some cover till your health regenerates, when it wants to at least. There are some on-rail shooting sections, like using rocket launchers, minigun, hacking a harvester and using it to clear a bunch of machines and dying over and over again because everything overheats in a second. You can manipulate the game and spawn to the next checkpoint when you die, like I did unintentionally. I mean, I skipped the game, but I'm not gonna complain. Since the game takes place in the future, there isn't any phased plasma rifles with 40-watt range. Hell, Terminator 3 had better future shit than this game did, and that game is okay. Well, they did also make Redemption, which was different and hard for some reason. But I'm going off track. But the main game has the standard assault rifle, shotgun, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, heavy machine gun and some grenades and pipe bombs here and there, and that's all you're gonna get. Everything is highlighted, like NPCs when they talk, weapons, and Skynet machines when you aim at them. Also, when in cutscene the camera moves around to show the scale or show your next objective, but the problem is that when the character talks to you, you can't hear them when the camera pans far out, so you need subtitles to understand what they're saying.
We still need to get on board. We're clear.
Keep in mind that my opinion might change, cause I'm never ever gonna play this game. Probably. Hopefully. Never. The musical score for the Terminator is iconic. Everyone must have heard of it, I'm sure, with the impending doom, the hopelessness and sometimes uplifting main theme of Terminator. And the music in this game, when the T-600 shows up and the music plays while you waste all your ammo trying to take it down, is a good feeling, not gonna lie. Although there was one sequence in where the music did not feel right and it came out of the blue in one of the chapters.
I see spiders! I need help!
And yeah, the machines you be fighting are cool, like running away from the harvester and the T-600. They're formidable, but if you see one you run, unless the story tells you to take them down, in which you mostly do, but I like the part when you run away because it brings tension. The camera gets shaky whenever you move around, giving you the feeling like you're watching a movie. However, the graphics for this game, as you can see, is piss poor. It looks like an early PS2 game. The character models are stiff, there's no fluidity whenever they move around. Funny enough, they move more like a robot than human. You think that since this game is called Terminator Salvation, is that it's gonna have the same story as a movie, right? Well, no, not at all. This game is a prequel to the movie, and the story for this game isn't that good at all. I mean, isn't Shakespearean level writing? The story is pretty much generic, talking about a generic soldier. Well, the story used to be cool before they ruined it, but... As you can see, Skynet won because humans can't be bothered doing their own laundry. So Skynet wanted world domination. Judgment Day has arrived, not in the form of that scary part in Terminator 2. But in a form of a bleak industrial world where nature is slowly creeping in, claiming buildings, pavements, wherever you can think of. You see some sticky stuff. John Connor sends message via radio giving anyone hope as to whoever listens to it, and the main story is to capture survivors in the main hub of Skynet, seeing locations from the movie like the subway part and seeing movie people like Barnes and Blair and how they came into Resistance faction. There's a new character introduced called Angie, but by the time you realise she's part of his squad, she's already dead. And like I said, the writing is awful. You best believe you're gonna hear certain phrases like "it should have been me," or "this is suicide," or John Connor having self-doubt after Angie sacrificed herself for the greater good.
Shut it!
But soon after that, you're all fine and dandy, storming into Skynet more secure places with T-600 spiders and flying drones everywhere. There was one part in where you encountered this fleshy T-600 and one of your team mistakes it for a human. Like, how can you mistake an endoskeleton machine with pieces of rubber skin attached to it to a human? Unfortunately, you don't get to fight the T-800, as that takes place in the movie, or playing a Terminator who thought he was human. By the way, that Terminator is called Marcus, and this game is a prequel that no one wanted. And that's my review of Terminator Salvation for the PlayStation 3. Another shitty movie license game for the PlayStation 3. And I'm not surprised, the only redeeming factor is the trophies for this game, something that is external, not part of the game itself. This game is ridiculously short, having 9 chapters. On hard, you can finish this game in one sitting, and on normal, you can probably finish it in about 4 hours. Or less if you're that good. The gameplay is standard for shooting games, and the game is pretty much over once you touch the controller. I wanted to talk more about what else can be said. I didn't experience any glitches, but there's a shit ton of bugs. I've already played this game before, so I've got all the missions unlocked. I got halfway and closed the game, and when I restarted the game and played it, I was in somewhere random. I wasn't in the same chapter that I left it as. It's not the worst video game out there, but it's just very, very bland, with no seasoning. Piece of Skynet shit. Just like the franchise. Imagine paying full price when this game first came out. Oh god. I've been AnimersiveXP. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, and hopefully you see me in the next video. Bye bye.